Hello everybody, welcome back to another Project Slayers video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the best way to grind mastery for anything. So yeah, let's get started. I'll wait for an invite. Alright, yeah, dungeons are the best way, so yeah, now that I got an invite. I'm using water now. So yeah, water, I'm using water breathing. My flame PvP video, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get it. I kind of did a fucky wucky and my mind didn't work at the time, so then I got water because I just want to move on from flame. Flame is still one of the best breathings in the game. You cannot prove me wrong. Yeah, I cannot be incorrect. So yeah, water. I'm about to show you the dungeon levels and like how much you can get. 147 right now. Keep in mind this will differ between breathings. Water has about really average AoE. So yeah, water has average AoE. So with something that has lower AoE like beast or insect, or some might be worse, but something with higher AoE like mist or sound might work better with this. However, no matter what, this will still probably be the best way to grind these bosses, or best way to grind levels and mastery really. So yeah, I'll cut to when I guess interesting things happen. All right, so first boss rotation's done. How dungeons work is they go in waves, so bosses will spawn every 1 minute and 30 seconds. So yeah, depending on your mastery level, like depending on everything is going to depend how much mastery you get. But mostly if you have if you have a good breathing or even just an okay breathing, just something I can recommend. Certain breathings like or even blood demon arts have horrible AoE, like Tamari for example, to the point where you can't actually like get much mastery because of the low AoE. Like Tamari's only AoE move is Tamari Meteor, which is exclusive to forearms and has a long cooldown. So yeah, triple throw I guess could also be that, maybe, but yeah. The strategies I can give you for these dungeons would be prioritize bosses, because if you don't have polar set yet, you want to keep doing these. If you're just doing this for mastery, I would recommend turning on 2x mastery. I'm not going to just because I have almost no ore. Well, I have a lot of ore, just not enough. If I ever wanted to get anything, I wouldn't be able to if I just kept spending it on mastery. And plus, I'm making this video for you guys. So yeah, as you notice, health orbs will start to despawn eventually. If you notice some despawning, I'd recommend picking up the ones in a little bit. I think there are 3. I'll go over the types of orbs. Stamina and health just regen that of the stat. This little ball right here gives you extra points. The 2x one gives you double points, obviously. The skull icon one is instant kill, so you'll quit everything immediately. And then there's an eye one, which makes you invisible, like if you're using obscuring clouds to the enemies. And there's also one more to kill all. I've never seen it in game. I know it happened once in one of my games, but I never saw it, and it's also extremely rare. So yeah, don't rely on it. Annoying bosses to look out for would be Yahaba, Inosuke, Akaza, Tengen, Rengoku. Most bosses in the game are going to be annoying. There's only like a few that really aren't, like Kaden or Zuko, which are really annoying, but also not really. There's not really supposed to be difficult. every boss in the game can be annoying. The ones I've seen were probably the least annoying would be like those two I just mentioned. Tamari probably wouldn't be that difficult yet. Tamari is probably, it's still annoying, but yeah. Also, eventually, I've already been in here for 5 minutes. Damn. Okay. Yeah, I'll cut to when something interesting happens. All right. Next thing. Oh yeah, events. These are things that can happen mid thing or mid. All these things that are happen each time a new wave starts. Uh, this one is probably one of the easiest ones to get by. All it does is make everything dark, which can be avoided if you just use your fucking lantern. So, well, sun maps, you can use your lantern and it'll work. So yeah, I would go over most of them. There's pretty basic ones like no health regen, 3 times health regen. Uh, one of them turns all of them into stone. I forgot what it's called. This one is, yeah, like I said, it just makes everything dark. So one of the easier ones to get by. There's some where the enemies have double health, double damage. It's like stuff like that, which most of the time it's gonna buff your enemies. And even in sometimes even multi disasters can go on, which you won't. You'll barely. I don't think you'll even be told what the disasters are. And as you can see, when it turns nighttime, the lantern helps a lot with that. Eventually, you are going to die, so just remember that either by the time or yeah. My best would be to save high AOE moves for large clusters of enemies, and use single target moves for just bosses that are like alone. Also, I would recommend using your health regen potions. They will help a lot. And this little bug you can do, which here I'll show you. Use a health regen and then you just dash forward. It should send you flying. So if you're ever in a really bad situation, you can always just use that. It only works with the jumbo health, I think. But still a very useful tool. But my water breathing video will probably come out by the time I master it. And I'll have to go back to Flame just for a little bit just to do the PvP video. So sorry in advance because my PvP video is not going to be out probably this week. I'll try to, but mastering water can take some time, so here's a good example. Oh, a big issue. Sometimes when they use like their grab attacks like that, uh, Inosuke with sound, like Inosuke with his ult, Tengen with his ult, or Domo with a slam attack, sometimes it will bug out and just send you out of the map. And that's never a good thing. But you don't remember, you don't have to get the highest points, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is you're getting mastery. Like I already have another mastery level. And don't feel obligated to do this if you don't have to. Stuff like just tier 5 bosses can give you a lot of mastery if you do it right. So don't feel obligated to do these if you don't really want to. But if you just want the fastest way to get this stuff, then this is the way to do it. Chiron is one of the more annoying bosses just because of the stun on her moves. I know Zenny 2 is also really annoying. Because of the stuns. So yeah. I guess we'll come back to something when interesting happens, because it's gonna get harder over time. That's both a good thing and a bad thing, because we'll be able to usually, hold on, there has to be something I'm missing. Sometimes in dungeons where like you don't visit certain areas of the map, certain enemies just like don't spawn. That's an issue, because I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. You want as many enemies to spawn as possible. Okay, now that we're talking about this, I should probably bring up the meta breathings in Blood Demon Arts. For the meta for this, the meta is probably gonna be mist breathing, mist sound, and wind breathing for breathings. For Blood Demon Arcs, you want swamp. Yeah, or Reaper. Reaper's also really good with its ult. The time limit's gonna... Certain maps have... The more players you have, the less likelihood of you running out of time. Like some basic info like that. Like this over here. And if you're a Slayer, you want to hit for at least 2,000 points. Or even if not, because 3k points will let you get a katana. Yep, time ran out. Sad. But I went up 3 mastery for only 2 people. That's usually pretty decent. See, do I get anything good here? Let's see, didn't get Polar Top. Oh yeah, This is the run. This is the finally got another Polar Top. It's been a long time since I got another Polar Top. And you might get some like Polar Top or Polar Bottom, which is gonna be like a jump scare to you, and you're gonna be like, what? How did I get this? From like rare drops, because yeah. Alright, now let me show you the drop rates for the items you'll probably want. For the hats, you can get this 1%, pretty easy to get. And if you don't have this, you don't want to use this. You want to use this if you don't have this. Unless you're a demon, you want to use that. But if you're not a demon, you want to use this until you get this. One strength boost is really useful, and also 50 health doesn't hurt that much. Masks, you don't get any good masks here. Vigilante scarf, 2%. Necklaces, uh, oh no, you can't get it from here. Yeah, shirts, polar top, 0.5%. Which if you have a lot of really good dungeons, you're almost guaranteed to get at least one of these. You get polar bottom. You know, also really useful. The best PvP bottom, well, in my opinion. For this, and you can't get anything for that. Lanterns, you can get this, and I guess this as well. You can get a whole bunch of potions, bloodstain ingots, and yeah. Most of the drops you can get, all the useful ones. You can also get claws. Yeah, you can get claws. And yeah. Stuff you can buy in Point Shop. Point Shop has a bunch of really useful items. Let me show you. These katanas, these are all probably some of the best katanas in the game. These are like probably it's basically just like, it's just slightly worse than snow and sound katanas. So if you don't have snow or sound katanas or tier 3 dev, you use these. Which you're gonna get sound katana or snow katana by then. But still useful. You also need these to craft the Devour and Polar Katana. So, Metal Scythe, decent scythe. I think it's actually the only weapon that's not Devour or Polar to give a buff that's not just damage. Yeah, it gives +1 block. Not sure how useful that is, but certain situations I guess could be better than Skull Scythe. Yeah, this is just slightly worse than the snow katana, and also sound. But sound katanas are worse than snow katanas just because they swing slower. So at least from what I've experienced. You can also get skull claws. I wouldn't really recommend this because by the time you actually get this many points in a dungeon, you're not really gonna be using claws anymore. Claws actually, hold on. Claws are underrated for dungeons just because the spin move. It actually helps a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rate breathings and blood demon arts from worst to best based on what you can do. So let me pull up a tier list real quick. Okay, first, real quick, hold up. First, you're not max level. You probably want to get these. The only good mask from here is this mask, and maybe this mask. Yeah, let me show you the masks. The masks are not that good. So like this, hold on. Where this one? This one's really good. This one's really good for regen builds. So like if you can just troll people with this. No other masks are good here. Foxy mask is okay, I guess, but you might as well just use the regular fox mask. But as you can see, no other mask. Like 3% health regen, 20 stand. Like this is useless. The literal Sabito mask is better than this. Flower Fox, it's just not that good. Fox King and Purple Foxy have the same stats. Well, but Sabito mask is legitimately better than this mask. So yeah, only if you are gonna buy a mask, buy the Fox mask or the Foxy mask. I would just do Fox because extra 5 health. So yeah, if you're already max level, you need potions. Get these potions. If you're a demon, you probably still want those. Right now I think I'm gonna buy Scythe and just a whole bunch of Wen. I got the tier list pulled up, so just yep. As you can see, I got a whole bunch of Wen for that. I think around 5k for 800 points. So decent. Yeah, let's get to the tier list. All right, yeah. All right. Okay. Let me sort these tiers real quick. All right. Yep, we're back in the tier list. So let's do all this. Blood. First, I guess we'll start with blood, of course. Blood's gonna get an A tier. It doesn't have the highest AoE, but the fact landmines can get you really far. So yeah, explosive choke slam. Blood is just broken in general. It needs its moves to be fixed to where they can't cancel other moves. Like they have to be cancelable, because cancelable because stuff like explosive choke slam. I could go on a rant for hours in PvP, but for PvE it's decent just because it has decent AoE moves. Water is gonna get a B tier just because it has actually A tier. A tier, just because Water Serpents are really good. It has a whole bunch of moves. Blood is better, but has a iframe on Water Surface Slash. Constant Flux can stun for a while and do a lot of AoE. And Water Serpent is pretty decent. And yeah, Waterfall Basin is also useful. So yeah, Dream. Dream is honestly worse than Water in my opinion. For specifically dungeons, I don't know what it is, but Water is usually really. Dream doesn't really have AoE except for its, I guess, its third and sixth move, and also the lack of its fifth move being horrible doesn't really help it any much. Snow, okay, D tier. D tier, you're not gonna get far with Snow just because Snow doesn't have that much AoE. Doma, Ice, S tier, obviously. I don't even need to explain that. Swamp, S tier because Swamp Domain. Swamp Domain carries a whole bunch. You can let your other teammates just help you out. It's amazing. Tamari, okay, Tamari's F tier. No, it's below F tier. Hold on. It's below F tier. One AoE move. It is below F tier. When you're playing dungeon with Tamari, it's only for mastery because it's never useful. Mist S tier. I think it should be above. It's about on the same par with Swamp just because Obscuring Clouds helps it a whole bunch. Flame I'm gonna put in B tier because Flame is more of a PvP breathing. It's just decent in PvE. Shockwave is gonna get a C tier. It's not horrible, but honestly, you could do a lot better for dungeons. Sound is gonna get an A tier above Dream, or actually above Water as well. It's gonna be above Water because String Performance helps it a whole bunch. Insect F tier. Insect is at least not Tamari because Insect has AoE moves. Reaper is usually just Reaper is probably better than Blood just because the rush move and also the fact you can it's cancer to fight against in well, not fight against, but like for your teammates to use because like they can use their move that makes them invisible and they'll just start targeting you, which could be annoying, or your teammates. So yeah, it's still very useful though, just because of Speed Rush. Speed Rush is an amazing move. It's probably the best move in the game. I'm saying it right now. It is the best move in the game. You cannot cancel it, except if you use Rising Scorching Sun, or I guess any other, or maybe Water Surface Slash or Unknowing Fire, or I guess an ult, like a counter ult, a cutscene move that might work. But if you don't have those ready, you're pretty much fucked when somebody uses it. So yeah, Reaper is just high up. Arrow, okay, Arrow is interesting. Arrow has a whole bunch, like most of its moves are good. Piercing Arrow gives block break, even though it's only block break in iframes, even though it's like a one hit move, and you can't really do much without it. You have Arrow Spikes. Arrow Spikes, if you have Death Orb with Arrow Spikes, it helps everything. Yeah, I'm actually gonna put it in A tier above Dream, actually, just because of like all of its damaging moves are good for dungeons, and Arrow Flight can get you out of sticky situations as well. So yeah, A tier. Thunder is also gonna be B tier. Thunder isn't really made for AoE, but Rice Spirit helps it a whole bunch, so Thunder is gonna stay in B tier. Probably above Flame, just because Rice Spirit hits everything. Actually, Purgatory can be okay, that makes it better. Wind is gonna go top of B tier. B tier isn't really. It's like close. Okay, I'll put it above. Okay, I'll put it at the bottom of A tier, just because it still has really good moves. So yeah, I can't remember. Actually, hold on. With Wind, yeah, it's good actually because ult hits a whole bunch. Second move does a lot. Yeah, okay. And Beast is gonna be in D tier. It actually has AoE unlike Insect, even though it's very little. And Snow also has AoE, so that's why it's in D tier. Just not much of it. So yeah, this is my current Ogiwahara tier list. Remember, stuff like Shockwave or Beast are way better for PvP. Stuff like Thunder and Flame. These are made for PvP, so they're way better for that. But stuff like these three up here, these are made to be used for PvE. With Ice and Swamp being just way better at PvP than Mist is. But Mist is still probably... it's up there with Ice for PvE. I would put it on the same with Swamp for dungeons, though. Just because some of the moves are pretty mid, and Distant Haze doesn't hit everything like Rice Spirit. If Distant Haze was like Rice Spirit fully, then yeah, it would be probably above Doma or Ice. So yep, that's about it. If you have any more questions, please ask me in the comments. I'll be free to answer. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.